The British colonization of India began with a ledger. A single corporate entity infiltrated the subcontinent, gradually replacing local authority with a private administrative machine. To understand this takeover, we have to look at the bedrock condition of the year 1700. The Mughal Empire under Aurangzeb exercised near total control over the subcontinent. However, Aurangzeb's administration buckled. Internal friction caused the central state to fracture. Newly independent powers filled the void. The Maratha Confederacy expanded across the interior, while the Nizam of Hyderabad asserted control over the south. In the capital of Delhi, the physical seat of Mughal power rotted from within. This weakness invited catastrophe. In 1739, the Iranian Emperor Nader Shah sacked Delhi and physically extracted the empire's wealth, including the jewel-encrusted peacock throne. This fragmentation created a catastrophic geopolitical vacuum. European trading corporations recognized that the fractured interior provided the permissive environment they needed to transition from merchants to state builders. Two primary corporate nodes anchored themselves to the coast, the British East India Company and the French East India Company. Their original mandate was strictly commercial. These companies operated fortified, isolated trading posts, exchanging European bullion for profitable Indian textiles and spices. But the dissolution of the Mughal center changed the corporate strategy. The company realized that the warring regional factions offered opportunities for political leverage far beyond simple maritime trade. To fill the Mughal vacuum, the British East India Company engineered a three-phase architecture. First, military hegemony. Next, economic extraction, and administrative formalization. Examining the creation of the Raj reveals it to be a hostile corporate takeover. The first phase relied on securing a monopoly on force. During the Carnatic Wars, these corporations fought for regional dominance by backing rival Indian proxy rulers. When succession disputes broke out in Hyderabad and Arcot, a triple alliance strategy emerged. The French established connection lines to Muzaffar Jung, while the British backed his rival, Nasir Jung. Initially, the French succeeded. Under Governor Dupleix, they used European infantry tactics to overwhelm larger local armies, securing significant regional influence. Robert Clive broke this momentum with a diversionary strike. While the French-backed forces were occupied at the siege of Tiruchirappalli, Clive stormed the crucial fortress of Arcot. Clive's forces held the fort through a brutal 53-day standoff. This intense attrition forced the French to divert resources, shattering their advantage. This regional struggle eventually merged with the broader global conflict of the 7 Years' War. The global escalation triggered the Battle of Wandiwash in 1760. British forces decisively defeated the French, ending their rivals' military ambitions in the subcontinent. To cement this monopoly, the British systematically destroyed the French presence. These crumbling ruins illustrate the absolute elimination of rival European infrastructure. The Treaty of Paris in 1763 granted the British East India Company a total monopoly on European force in India, allowing them to shift from armed merchants to undisputed regional overlords. Phase 2 weaponized this military dominance to entirely restructure the Indian economy. This economic mechanism is best understood through Dadabhai Naoroji's drain of wealth theory. Before political power in 1757, trade was balanced. European bullion flowed into the ledger on the left, exchanging for textiles exiting on the right. After 1757, a structural inversion occurred. The company used Indian tax revenue to purchase the very goods they exported to Britain. The primary engine of this extraction was the implementation of rigid, aggressive land revenue systems. Under the zamindari system, the company empowered local landlords to ruthlessly extract taxes from peasants, ensuring a steady flow of capital back to the company. In regions under the Ryotwari system, the company extracted taxes directly from the peasants, at exorbitant rates of up to 60%. Extracted wealth was funneled to London as home charges to pay company shareholder dividends and the salaries of British officials. This created an incredible paradox. Indian taxpayers were forced to fund the very British military that occupied their own country. This systemic drain transformed India from an equal partner into a captive resource pool, sparking massive deindustrialization while fueling Britain's industrial rise. Phase 3 formalized the company's transition into a sovereign administrative power. Managing an extraction machine on this scale required a sprawling, centralized urban bureaucracy. The Charter Act of 1833 served as the legislative death knell for the company's original commercial identity. The British Parliament stripped the company of all trading rights, converting it entirely into an administrative state apparatus. The Act centralized power by redesignating the Governor-General of Bengal as the Supreme Governor-General of India. Regional governors in Bombay and Madras lost their legislative powers. All authority was funneled to the centralized Governor-General in Council. The establishment of the Indian Law Commission under Lord Macaulay further codified this unified legal system for the entire subcontinent. By 1833, the East India Company functioned as a centralized government ruling the subcontinent in trust for the British Crown. The corporate takeover model relied on the deep interdependence of these three phases. Military dominance, established during the Carnatic Wars, secured a strict monopoly on force. This monopoly on force enabled the enforcement of the agrarian tax systems that fueled the drain of wealth. The resulting wealth then funded the centralized bureaucratic apparatus solidified by the 1833 Act. Stacking these three transparent layers, military, economic, and administrative, reveals the complete architecture as a takeover. These animated layers lock together to show the final outcome, a unified, extracted colony organized to benefit a foreign power. The architecture of the British Raj resulted from a century of corporate engineering, a meticulous combination of proxy warfare, economic extraction, and legislative centralization.